I'm Lynn.
I'm Amanda.
And
this is The Pursuit of Badassery, the podcast.
We're cutting through the fluff and cracking open what it really takes to build a business and life that you actually want.
No gurus, no gatekeeping, just real talk, big action, and the badass energy you need to scale and slay.
Some episodes, it's just us.
And sometimes we bring on powerful guests with stories that'll hit home.
Either way, this is not about playing small.
It's about going all in.
Let's get after it. Hey there, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Amanda. Welcome to Pursuit of Badassery, the podcast. You know, there's been a shift in business. If you've been in business as long as Lynn and I have, you've seen the shift firsthand. The rest of you probably just heard about it, probably on Instagram. But the old days of hustle culture, where hustle used to be a good word, is now a bad word. And we're going to talk about this shift to build a business that supports your nervous system without sacrificing the results that make you a badass, which is what we're here for. So let's talk a little bit about how managing your nervous system is part of your business strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we get into it, we both want to say now, Amanda and I come from the hustle culture and we love it. And we've had this conversation in other podcasts that there is one, it's become very bastardized in the way that people look at the hustle culture, in our opinion, in today's age. I don't even want to say the younger generation, but like those that didn't live it and that didn't see it or be about it, see the hustle culture as a bad thing. We're not saying that at all. And we're not saying that it's necessarily a good thing. Because for some, we've worked with so many entrepreneurs and had so many contractors work with us. We've seen a variation of belief in the hustle culture and the application of such and how they apply it and their take on it. And some people are just burning themselves out just for the fuck of it and not like doing anything productive. And I think it's more mentality versus some of us, like Amanda and I, love what we do. We love what we do and we're good at it. And yes, some things come easy, but it's been a lot of years of learning. And also, for different reasons, it's become part of our DNA on a business level and on a personal level. However, so we're saying this from those that we come from it, we believe in the hustle culture, and we know that we still have to regulate. We still have to, especially today, in today's age where we are super overstimulated by everything around, and it's only going to get worse. There's so much information out there. There's so many things going on. And it's funny, I was actually thinking about this. Which this is one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast now. I just got back from Vegas where one of my kids lived. We had a family emergency. It was hell, whole other story. But walking through the casinos and seeing all of the lights and the noises and this and that. And it's that's how entrepreneurship is nowadays. That's how businesses are. It's insane. And everybody has the magic pill, blah, blah, blah. And I know I'm getting on a tangent, but I want to set us up that, listen, we get it. And no matter how much of a hustler you are or not, because our definition of hustling is doing what you need to do in order to get what you need to get, you still need to understand that your nervous system is already running your business. And it's if you're acknowledging it or not, and if you're leading that, or if you're allowing what happens to you lead that.
Absolutely. I mean, your business shouldn't depend on your mood or your motivation or how many hours of sleep you had. That is performance. That's not how we want our business. So really, truly sustainable businesses. That's what we're interested in, because a sustainable, profitable business has to work in your life and lifestyle. And it's not about going soft, because I know we've heard a lot of people, the old hustle culture is a push harder, push through, work more. And then this new era of slow down, rest more, connect, align. We've all heard these buzzwords. It's like everybody's talking about alignment this year. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's really? Just people are, I'm hearing it everywhere. So it's not that one is bad and the other is good and that you need to have one. It has to be a balance, not even a balance, a harmony in your life. It has to work with where you're going. And it's not about going soft. It's about being strategic. And it's a regulated nervous system means you're going to have better decisions, means you're going to have better leadership, means you're going to have better sales. And dysregulated is going to be reactive. It's going to be scarcity driven. It's going to lead to
Overwhelmed, it's going
inconsistent
to be
income.
depletion, it's going to be anxiousness. So just to kind of give a tit for tat or example, like when you're overwhelmed, that so your nervous system, when you're overwhelmed, typically how that reaction is that you avoid decisions, you avoid actions, you avoid things. When you're anxious, you tend to overwork, or you can shut down, or you over explain, you over compromise. When you're depleted, you just stop showing up, you stop caring, you stop selling, you stop reaching out. And like Amanda said, when you're regulated, like you lead, you decide, you execute, you do all of the things from a very different place. And it's interesting, I've recently been working with a particular client, and they're going through a huge transition, and their nervous system is definitely out of whack. It's not stable all the time. And I have to have conversations with them quite often about, like, okay, I need you to take a step back. Remember this particular aura that you have right now. And like, or when you were really in the regulated aspect, and how can we get back to that? Because otherwise then clients stop flowing, and different things start happening. And it's funny that alignment is the word. I guess I've been just so head in the sand, like maybe overwhelmed, huh? or something. No. But I mean, the last few weeks have been crazy for personal reasons, but it's not woo woo. It's about being operational and, like you said, strategic. Your state of mind, your state of nervous system absolutely impacts your revenue, impacts everything. I know we're kind of going with like some of the extremes, the anxiousness of this or that, but even like high performance, and this will go back to what we originally started setting up with the hustle culture. Like hustle culture can be high performance, and it can be high performance at a consistent pace for a long time. But high performance doesn't have to be constant intensity. What high performance, like true high performers, are, they're managing their energy. They know how to sustain longer. They know what card to pull out when. They understand that it's not a one size fits all. And I know this might sound a little, especially if you've listened to or read our book, it can sound a little bit hypocritical because we've talked about fake it till you make it sometimes, but that is a short-term solution for certain things to kind of get over a hump. But if you're looking at big picture, high performance isn't constant intensity. It's definitely that sustained longer, and making sure that you're still in alignment with that bigger picture, that bigger goal, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this reminds me of a client we had a month ago or so in the VA, and she came to us because she was always on. Like that was her thing. Like she's like, I'm always on. And that was leading to adrenal fatigue, to decision fatigue, to inconsistent execution. So she was sometimes doing the thing and being a rock star, and then sometimes couldn't handle it. So it's like she was sprinting at full speed and then crashing into a wall, or she was avoiding things and then constantly feeling behind. It was always, I feel so behind, I'm not there. I mean, she was never really building momentum. And so, one of the things that we helped her do is help her institute systems that protected her nervous system in her business. So things like content batching, so she wasn't on every single day trying to figure out what to do, like automated nurture sequences for her lead magnets and for her emails, so she was creating those contact points. We instituted a clear sales process for her and her team, because it instead of being this like emotional roller coaster of like, who gets a refund, how do I do this, it was one system that she didn't have to decide 50 times. And then, ultimately setting up boundaries for her of her availability, so it wasn't this constant, like, I'm always on. And it absolutely transformed her business. Even though none of those things were really technically revenue drivers, it was a nervous system reset in her business and in her life. And she was able to exponentially, her business was unrecognizable after 6 months, because she just was able to flip that switch and have a business that actually worked in her life and actually worked with where she was. and make those adjustments according to how she was feeling and how things were showing up in her business. I mean, because just like Lynn said, like there's some days that you're going to be on, like you're like, I am on fire, I'm awesome. And then there's going to be weeks where life's really, really hard and you have to adjust. And that's part of your strategy as well. But you can't have everything go to shit. If your personal life goes to shit, ideally your business shouldn't be directly tied to that. There should be a way for you to still see growth that isn't directly tied to how good you feel that day.
Absolutely. You said a couple things in there that are really key, but I want to bring it back to one particular thing is that you were talking about with her, we helped her build certain systems and like even like templates for decision making. We went through decision making, but also the offers. You didn't mention the offers, like getting really clear on the narrowing down of the offers and when to focus on which ones. But the takeaway from everything that you just said is that systems were built to carry the business and to carry them even when her energy couldn't. And so that way there was a constant movement. When the systems were built, what happened is she was able to take a step back and breathe and reset herself fully. It took time to put things into place, but with our help, it was implemented really quickly. And she stayed consistent over the next 6 weeks because we were following up with her every week on the 6 weeks of like, okay, what are you doing now? Like, make sure you're staying in this head, in this system, in this momentum. And all of a sudden, where her energy was spent and the systems were low, when she put in the systems, her energy started to come back down, come back down, come back down, come back down. So her energy wasn't spent because she had these operating systems in the background that were doing things or making it very easy for her to activate whatever decision was needing to be made. And I know we've talked about this, and I know this is like a sidestep to this, but I think I always use this freaking analogy. It's like when Obama was on that talk show and they were talking about like, how many color suits does he have? How many color ties does he have? And he only had a handful. What about your underwear drawer? He's like, nope, they're all the same color, or more or less. But essentially, he took the way that things were organized for him was to take the energy out of the decision making because it just was there for him to do, which helps keep a already heightened nervous system because of the position that he has that is not taking energy from his nervous system. And I know that's a silly example, but you can do these kind of things within your business to be able to take away the energy that you would spend that would increase the negative nervous system reaction in your business, which again would go back to the ripple effect of what we've already spoken about.
Yeah, you don't have to choose between burnout and taking a nap. Like you don't have to choose. That's not the choice that we're making here. You need a business that works even when you don't feel like it, and that adapts when your energy is low, when you need to make these tactical shifts, when you might have an identity shift. Like there's things that you can do in your business that you can mitigate the negative effects of this. I mean, where we see this in a lot of ways, like where we see a nervous system running your business is when like you avoid selling when you feel off. Like, oh, I don't really feel up to selling today. You overwork when you feel good to the point where you're crashing later, where it's just these highs and lows where you're not really...
It's manic. It can be manic.
It's manic. Exactly. It's just another manic Monday. Okay. So, and it's making, now it's going to be in your head. For those of you who know that song, now it's in your head. You're welcome. For those of you who don't know that song, I want you to go Google search it, go YouTube it. It's amazing. So, but then you're making impulsive decisions under stress. Like your income is going to fluctuate just like your mood will. So, you do have to give yourself some grace because you are still human, despite the machine-like precision I like to keep. We're still human, but you have to kind of adjust where you are. And it's way more prevalent now than this was when we started in entrepreneurship. This wasn't part of the dialogue back then, but it makes such a huge difference. And it makes sense.
Could you imagine back in the day if somebody brought this up?
They would have been fired. They'd be like, do this line of Coke and get back to work.
Cement boots. It's funny that you go that way and I go that way.
I mean,
Anywho,
it was the 80s, man. Things happened.
yeah. I do want to touch a point that actually came to mind. You had mentioned the term gentle business, and that has become like a buzzword, or I want to say the other one is like poet business or poetic business or something like that, where it's
Yeah.
human centric. It's like,
Oh.
yeah, they're like selling your story anyway to allow people to see you through the transparency that's giving you this like more stable, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm going off on a tangent, but the gentle business part, what popped in my brain, and excuse me for all of you that are going to hate me for saying this, but are those parents that are gentle parenting.
Haters gonna hate, hate, hate.
I was not a gentle parent, and I'm not judging, but what I will say is, and notice I did say but, I did not say an and there, that gentle business without structure, same as gentle parenting without structure, is avoidance. I'm going to say that again. Gentle business or parenting without structure is absolutely avoidance. It's avoidance. I'm sorry.
100%.
I'm sorry.
100%. We just talked about this with one of our clients, sort of. I mean, an angle of it in, I don't know, it was last month's call, but it was, she was saying that she wanted to be everybody's friend in her business. She couldn't bring up this difficult conversation because there was an employee who crossed a line. So she had an employee who did something that was 100% against the policy of the company, and she let it slide because this exception, and then she didn't really want to talk to her about it because she didn't want to be the bad guy and be seen as this like big scary boss, and like I don't want to be the boss the way my boss was, and I'm
and
like,
also
I get
conflict.
that.
People don't like conflict. They think it's
But
conflict
it was
to have a conversation
very
like
similar to the gentle parenting narrative of I don't want to be like my parents. I don't want to parent like my parents. I'm like, I know that you don't want to be the boss like your boss was and being a jerk to you. But it doesn't mean that you go the exact opposite way and become buddy boss and don't have any rules or restrictions and you avoid having the difficult conversations. And that was a difficult conversation for her to hear. And it is part of that line. And again, I have nothing against gentle parenting if it's done right, but same thing with gentle business. As long as there's structure, as long as there is, okay, we'll say the word alignment again. As long as there's alignment with how you run your business and if it's working, that's fine. But if it's avoidance and you're just avoiding doing the things because you want it to be gentle and you want it to be kind and that's not a business. That's not, well, it's not a sustainable business. It might be a business for a while.
Yeah. Structure is the key thing with the whole gentle parenting, and structure creates freedom. And listen, I know we've talked a lot about like avoidance and about like doing the things. Resting is different than avoidance. And, resting is valid. Resting is needed. We've had this client for a few years in and out of our programs. She frequents whenever they're available. And I can remember her vividly last year, one of the programs she was in, and talking about, because she had like went through surgery. She had a big change in her business and all this other stuff. And she was like freaking out and feeling very overwhelmed. So she was in our 6th day. And afterwards, she's like, oh my God, like this was the rest that I needed to be able to like, she rested, she did the 6th day, then she went on like a 4-day weekend with her family or something like that. And she was like, this is the rest that I needed in order to be able to come back to my business with clarity, with direction, with energy, with the right mindset. And her business absolutely transformed after that. Like the things that she implemented, totally, the decisions that she made in those next couple of weeks, let alone months, it's a night and day difference in her business and in her energy and health, but also in her bank account. Like she had the biggest months that she had ever had after doing that. So rest is extremely important. And for those of us who are pusher throwers like Amanda and I, although we've gotten better, and we're blessed that we have each other, but we've also built a lot of systems. We have teams. We definitely pick up the slack for one another when one of us needs to check out. But that's because we've put things in place that will help keep the ball running. And one thing that we didn't mention, especially if you're a solopreneur, but any level of business, that is absolutely essential for you, in my opinion, I'm sure your opinion too, for this. And I know we're kind of getting outside of the nervous system, but into systems, is building the referral and strategic partners aspect, because they will help with the nervous system, because the nervous system definitely will take even more of a toll if no income's coming in, right? You don't see the prospects coming in and clients converting. And that's a system that you can put in that is constantly farming for you. It's like auto irrigation versus having to manually go out there with the water. And it's just, yeah. It's a process that you can put into place that's going to help.
Absolutely. So we want to hear from you. How have you seen your business shift as you are coming in and out of nervous system regulation or dysregulation, as it were? Have you seen any patterns in your business? We want to see where you are in that world.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to know, when was the last time you rested? And what did you do in order to replenish? Because anyone can sprint for 30 days, but very few can stay consistent, stay clear, stay profitable over that time without that rest. So how are you setting up a sustainable rest in your business? So when was the last time you rested, and what did you do? What was the return on investment for that rest? So
make sure you are subscribing wherever you listen. We want to see you hit that subscribe button, follow us on social media, and share this with another like-minded entrepreneur who needs a little help with their nervous system regulation.
Absolutely. Till next time.
Get after it.
Thanks for tuning in, but remember, listening is not doing.
Take what you heard today and move.
Share the episode, leave us a review, and tag us when you take action.
Head over to thepursuitofbadassery.com and see how we're helping entrepreneurs get results without the fluff.
Until next time,
let's get after it.